Ladies and gentlemen, it is a temptation many of us face, the desire to speak of the great things we will accomplish. We find ourselves eager to share our plans, to give voice to our ambitions and dreams. Yet there is a quiet wisdom in refraining from these declarations, for there is a subtle power in action itself. Consider the paradox of a person who speaks much of their intentions but accomplishes little. Words, though they may inspire in the moment, often fade with time. What matters, however, is not what is said, but what is done. The world does not remember the promises we make, but rather the work we undertake and complete. So why then do we insist on speaking of our plans? The root of this impulse often lies in vanity. By telling others what we will do, we seek a certain validation. We wish to be seen as capable, as forward-thinking, as someone whose ideas are worthy of attention. But in this we must ask ourselves, is it the recognition we desire, or is it the work itself that we should cherish? If our energy is spent on seeking approval, we risk missing the very essence of what makes us effective, our ability to do, to act, to achieve without the constant need for external acknowledgement. When we focus too much on words, we invite the distractions of ego. It is a tempting thing to imagine that the world is watching and waiting for our next great statement. Yet in truth, the world is not interested in our speeches. It is interested in the results of our labor. It is far better to be a person whose actions are so profound that the words are unnecessary, for when one acts from the depth of their purpose, the impact resonates far beyond any announcement. There is a quiet dignity in the person who works diligently in the background, whose plans remain largely unsaid until the moment of their fulfillment. This is where true influence lies, not in the promises made, but in the integrity of the work. It is only through action, sustained and patient, that one can inspire others, for it is only through doing that we show the world who we truly are. The power of action over words is a concept that has shaped human understanding for centuries. It's easy to get lost in the allure of speaking about our plans and dreams. After all, words carry an undeniable weight. They can excite, inspire, and paint vivid pictures of a future filled with success and triumph. But there is a deeper truth. Actions speak louder than words. While words have the ability to capture attention in the moment, it is our actions that ultimately define us and reveal the substance of our character. This is a truth that transcends social expectations, societal pressures, and personal ambitions. In the end, actions are the measure of our true capabilities and intentions. When we speak about our goals or what we intend to achieve, we often do so to gain approval or admiration from others. There is a certain validation we seek when we share our plans, a desire to be recognized for our ideas and potential. However, this external validation can be fleeting. Words can stir emotions, but they often dissipate without leaving a lasting impact. While the world may nod in agreement with the things we say, it is unlikely that the words themselves will lead to any tangible results. People remember what we do, not what we say we will do. Our actions create a ripple effect that lasts far beyond any words we speak. A person who acts on their intentions shows not only commitment but also perseverance, qualities that inspire others much more than any proclamation could. The act of speaking about one's intentions too often can lead to the perception of effort without results. There is a danger in repeatedly talking about what we will do, because the more we speak, the less we actually get done. We can become so preoccupied with discussing our plans that the actual work gets lost in the noise. It becomes easy to get caught up in the excitement of telling others about our ideas, only to realize later that those words have not translated into meaningful progress. The act of speaking becomes a substitute for doing, and in the process, we lose focus on the work that truly matters. When we focus our energy on words rather than action, we also risk falling prey to the trap of overpromising and underdelivering. There is a temptation to exaggerate the significance of our plans, to paint an image of a future filled with accomplishments that we have not yet achieved. But the danger in this is clear: we build expectations that we may not be able to meet. This is not only frustrating for those around us, but, more importantly, it undermines our own integrity. Our words should be something that others can trust, but if we become known for speaking about our plans without ever following through, our reputation can become tarnished. The truth of our character lies not in what we say we will do, but in what we actually do. The value of actions lies in their ability to speak for themselves. A well-executed task, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, carries with it a message of competence and reliability. It reveals our discipline and dedication without us needing to say a word. It is in the act of doing that we earn the trust and respect of others, for people recognize authenticity in the work we produce. When our efforts are visible, it becomes evident that we are not merely talking about the future, we are actively shaping it. The results of our actions, whether they are a tangible achievement or a lesson learned through failure, are far more meaningful than anything we could say in advance. The act of focusing on doing rather than speaking allows us to preserve our energy and concentration for what truly matters. When we talk about our goals, we often expend mental and emotional resources that could be better spent on the tasks at hand. Speaking too much about what we intend to do can divert our attention from the process of actually doing it. The more we vocalize our intentions, the more likely we are to fall into the trap of satisfying our need for recognition rather than actually achieving the goal itself. This can lead to a lack of progress, as we become more focused on communicating our plans than on executing them. In contrast, when we keep our plans to ourselves and direct our energy toward action, we create a sense of mystery and anticipation. There is an inherent power in quietly working towards something, in letting the results speak for themselves. This approach not only strengthens our ability to concentrate on the task at hand, but also cultivates a sense of humility. We learn to rely on the intrinsic value of the work itself, rather than the external validation that comes from sharing our intentions. This focus on the process, rather than the product, brings a sense of fulfillment that words can never provide. Actions are the true reflection of our capabilities. They demonstrate our commitment, our discipline, and our resolve. It is through action that we transform our dreams into reality. While words may serve as a starting point or a source of inspiration, they are not enough on their own. The real work happens when we roll up our sleeves and begin to take concrete steps toward achieving our goals. When we focus more on doing and less on talking, we not only build our own character, but also inspire others to follow suit. The results of our actions become a testament to our abilities, far surpassing the value of any words we might have spoken along the way. The desire to talk about our plans often arises from a deeper, more subtle motivation: the need for validation. We live in a world that places immense value on recognition, where acknowledgement from others often determines the worth of our actions. It is a natural human instinct to seek approval from those around us. When we speak about our plans, we are not simply sharing information, we are often seeking affirmation. We want others to see us as capable, visionary, and worthy of admiration. However, this external validation can be both dangerous and counterproductive. It shifts the focus from the work itself to the praise we anticipate receiving, creating an unhealthy reliance on external recognition that can undermine the integrity of our efforts. When we spend too much time talking about what we will do, we inadvertently shift our energy from the task at hand to the reaction we hope to receive from others. This can lead to a paradoxical situation. The more we talk about our plans, the less we actually do. The words themselves become a substitute for action, and in this cycle, we are left with a hollow sense of accomplishment. We may feel temporarily satisfied by the attention or approval we receive, but this satisfaction is fleeting. It does little to move us forward in our goals and can, in fact, hold us back. Instead of working towards tangible results, we become distracted by the constant need for validation. Our focus is no longer on the process or the end goal, but on the external recognition that our actions may or may not receive. This dependence on external validation can also distort our understanding of success. When we measure our worth by the praise we receive for talking about our plans, we lose sight of the intrinsic value of the work itself. Success becomes less about the fulfillment we gain from completing a task and more about the approval we receive from others. This creates a cycle in which we are continually seeking external validation, never quite satisfied with the praise we receive, because it is never as fulfilling as the satisfaction that comes from doing the work itself. The more we seek validation, the more we may find ourselves caught in a never-ending loop of needing to talk about our plans, which prevents us from actually executing them. This constant need for validation can lead to a distortion of our priorities. When we are focused on receiving praise for our ideas, we may become more inclined to talk about projects that sound impressive rather than those that are meaningful or challenging. We may seek to impress others with grandiose ideas, even if they are not grounded in reality or do not align with our true passions. The need to impress others can lead us to pursue projects that are designed to garner approval rather than those that would lead to personal growth or fulfillment. This ultimately leads to a life lived for the approval of others, rather than for the satisfaction of pursuing one's own purpose. Speaking about our plans too often can create false expectations for both ourselves and others. When we tell people what we will do, we set up an implicit promise that we must fulfill. This can create unnecessary pressure, and in some cases cause us to abandon our goals altogether. The more we speak about our plans, the more others expect us to deliver. However, the reality is that not every plan will come to fruition, and not every goal will be achieved as anticipated. When we focus too much on talking about what we will do, we can set ourselves up for failure, as the expectations we've built through our words may be difficult to meet. This can lead to disappointment, frustration, and a loss of confidence in ourselves. On the other hand, keeping our plans to ourselves allows us the freedom to work without the weight of others' expectations. It removes the external pressure of validation and gives us the space to focus on the process rather than the outcome. By keeping our intentions private, we are better able to navigate the complexities of our goals without the fear of disappointing others if things do not go as planned. We can move forward with greater autonomy, unencumbered by the need to prove ourselves through words. This also helps preserve our energy and focus, as we are not expending it on the task of seeking approval from others. Instead, we can direct that energy into doing the work itself. When we keep our plans to ourselves, we create an aura of mystery and anticipation. The world is full of talkers, but the quiet achievers, the ones who work diligently without announcing their every move, are the ones who often create the most lasting impact. It is through their actions that they command respect, not through their words. By refraining from speaking about our plans, we allow others to witness the results of our labor without the preamble. This, in turn, creates a deeper sense of admiration and trust, as people are more likely to respect and value those who let their actions speak for themselves. In this way, we protect our integrity and build a reputation that is based on the quality of our work rather than the quantity of our words. And true influence is not born from grand declarations or lofty promises, but from the quiet, consistent work that one puts into their endeavors. The distinction between those who talk about what they will do and those who actually do it lies at the very core of authentic leadership and impact. It is through action, rather than words, that we create a lasting legacy and inspire others to follow. Influence grows not from the attention we seek through the announcement of our plans, but from the example we set through our deeds. When we focus more on the process of doing than on the recognition we expect to receive for our intentions, we cultivate a type of influence that is rooted in substance and respect. One of the key elements of true influence is the ability to inspire others through our actions, not our words. In a world saturated with promises and ambitions, it's the people who deliver on those promises through consistent work who make the deepest impact. When a person works diligently, without the need for constant validation or applause, their work begins to speak for itself. Others begin to take notice, not because of the grand things said, but because of the results produced. The influence of such individuals lies in the fact that they lead by example. They do not rely on rhetoric to motivate others. Instead, their actions are enough to inspire those around them to take similar steps toward their own goals. It is the quiet achiever, the one who keeps their plans private and focuses on doing the work, that becomes a true source of influence and admiration. Their influence grows organically, based not on how much they talk, but on how much they accomplish. When we constantly talk about our plans, we invite attention to ourselves, but this attention is often shallow and short-lived. Words can stir people for a moment, but true influence is built over time through consistent, tangible actions. The person who frequently speaks about their ambitions may attract some admiration, but they rarely earn deep respect. Respect is earned through the demonstration of character, commitment, and the ability to follow through on one's intentions. It is the person who works quietly, without the need for constant validation, who inspires trust and admiration. This individual becomes a model for others, not because of the promises they've made, but because of the results they've achieved. Influence is not the product of speaking, it is the product of doing, of proving oneself through action, and of maintaining consistency in one's efforts. The process of focusing on actions rather than words also allows us to build credibility over time. Those who talk about what they will do often find themselves in a cycle of unmet expectations, where their words are eventually disregarded. But for those who focus on doing the work, the results speak for themselves. Their credibility is not reliant on the promises they make, but on the accomplishments they achieve. When we take action and allow the results to speak for themselves, we build a reputation based on reliability and effectiveness. People come to trust us, not because of what we say we will do, but because of what we have already done. In a world where words can be cheap and promises are often broken, the ability to consistently follow through on our actions builds an unmatched foundation of trust and respect. Another aspect of true influence is the ability to inspire others to take action. Influence is not simply about being admired or respected, it is about motivating others to take positive steps in their own lives. This type of influence can only be achieved through actions. When others see someone working tirelessly toward a goal, persevering despite obstacles, and achieving results, they are inspired to do the same. True leaders and influencers do not have to convince others to follow their actions, do the convincing. By quietly working toward their goals, these individuals set a powerful example for others to follow. They create an environment where others are motivated to take action not because of the leader's words, but because of the example set by their consistent efforts. This type of influence is not dependent on position, power, or authority. It is not the loudest voices or the most charismatic personalities that wield the greatest influence, but rather those who embody the values they espouse through their actions. Influence based on actions is rooted in authenticity. It doesn't require constant self-promotion or the need to be recognized at every turn. Instead, it is built on the quiet assurance that the work being done is meaningful and impactful. People are drawn to those who demonstrate integrity, who show up day after day, not because they want recognition, but because they are committed to the work itself. This kind of influence transcends the temporary admiration that comes from boasting about one's plans, and it fosters a deep, lasting respect that is grounded in consistency and character. Focusing on doing rather than talking fosters a sense of humility. When we do not constantly announce our intentions, we approach our goals with a sense of quiet determination rather than seeking validation. This humility is contagious. Those who see us working without the need for applause or recognition are inspired by our dedication and resilience. They are more likely to adopt a similar approach in their own lives, realizing that true success is not about boasting, but about consistent, deliberate action. The person who humbly goes about their work without fanfare becomes a model for others to emulate, not because of the words they speak, but because of the example they set. True influence, then, is not a result of how much we talk about what we will do, but a result of how much we actually do. It is not found in the promises we make, but in the work we complete and the impact we have through our actions. Those who focus on doing the work, rather than talking about it, inspire others not by their words, but by their example. They build a reputation based on the substance of their actions, and this is what ultimately makes them influential. In the end, influence is less about what we say and more about what we do. It is the quiet achievers, those who let their actions speak for themselves, who leave a lasting legacy of true leadership and impact.